What's going on, guys? Twin coming at you with another MLB The Show 19 video. My first roster predictions for the roster updates of the year is finally here. Be sure to leave a like if you guys enjoy these and want me to keep doing them every single roster update. Subscribe if you guys are new, getting closer and closer to 21,000 subscribers. In the comment section, let me know anybody that I missed throughout this video that you think deserves an upgrade or downgrade. Today, I'm only focusing on upgrades. One thing that I want to say before we get into these predictions is I'm doing 4 YouTube videos a day and I'm a full-time college student, so I didn't get to every single player that is probably deserving of an upgrade in this first roster update that's going to be happening on Friday, April 19th. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, let you guys know that I'm not covering every single player. There will be players that I do not get to in this predictions video, 100%. I'm going to start off with the starting pitchers, then go into relief pitchers, closing pitchers, catchers, first base. Just kind of go how the positions go when you filter by them on the community market. So the first starting pitcher that we have is Joe Musgrove on the Pirates. I've been getting a +2 this week from a 76 to a 78. This season he has allowed 0 earned runs in 15 1/3 innings pitched. 137 batting average against him with a .65 whip. He's been having a really good year, and I can see him getting a +2 upgrade this week. Next up, I have Tyler Glasnow on the Rays. Also, I'm going to apologize right now for any mispronunciations throughout this video, man. I suck at pronouncing names. But Tyler on the Rays, I have him getting a +3 this week, going from a 70 to a 73 overall. He has allowed 1 earned run this season in 17 innings pitched. Opponents have a 180 average against him, and he has an 82 whip this season. Also, last time I did roster updates was back in 17, and I used to say, this guy's killing it, he's having an amazing year. I'm going to try not to do that as much in this video. Next up, we have Luis Castillo on the Reds, and he's a guy that a lot of people, man, I asked some videos on comments for you guys to leave suggestions on Twitter, on Twitch, and everything, and this is a guy that got mentioned a lot. Luis Castillo on the Reds. He's actually going to be our first level changer of these predictions, having been a +2 this week, 78 to an 80, going gold. He has allowed 2 earned runs, man, only 2 earned runs in 19 2/3 innings pitched. Opponents have a 0.82 average against him, and he has a .66 whip on the season. That's why he is, in my opinion, the first level changer going gold this week that we have for these predictions. Next up, we have Matt Shoemaker on the Blue Jays. I have him getting a +2 this week, going from a 73 to a 75. Another level changer, going up to a silver rarity in MLB The Show 19. He has allowed 2 earned runs in 19 2/3 innings pitched, just like Luis Castillo. .138 average against him, opponents have, and then a .71 whip on the season. I honestly would not be surprised at all if he went silver, and that's why I have him getting a +2 this week, going to a 75 overall. Next up, we have Blake Snell, and this is another guy that a lot of people were telling me about, saying that he should get upgraded, and I also feel like at the same time, though, some people might be a little bit surprised by this prediction. So he's another level changer. He is my first prediction this week for going to a diamond. I have him getting a +2, going from an 83 to an 85, moving up to diamond in MLB The Show 19. One big thing for me, if you guys look at his attributes, so in real life, his stats, his walks per 9 this season currently is at 1.4. 1.4 walks per 9 innings compared to 3.2 walks per 9 innings. So he's gotten that down more than half. And his walks per 9 attribute in the game is only 50. So I feel like that could definitely get a boost. And he's just overall having a solid year this year. And he won the Cy Young last year. I really wouldn't be surprised if he went diamond. In my opinion, with that being said, I think this is a little bit of a stretch. I do think he could get an upgrade, but I also wouldn't be surprised if nothing happened to him here on Friday. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he did get that bump and did go diamond. Now I'm going to be moving on to the relief pitchers, and I actually only have 1 relief pitcher this week, and then for all the rest of the positions, I either have 1 or 2 players, just because, like I said, full-time student, doing 4 videos a day. I got homework tonight, I gotta sleep, I got stuff to do, I got videos to edit besides this one and this one, so I just didn't have as much time to do everything that I wanted, so we're only getting 1 to 2 guys per position. I hope you guys understand. We have John Gant on the St. Louis Cardinals. I have him getting a +5 this week, going from a 64 to a 69 overall, going from common to bronze. He's allowed 1 run in 11 2/3 innings pitched this year. He has 2.3 hits per 9 innings allowed this year compared to 7.2 last year. I just feel like he's definitely better than a common. I could easily see him going bronze. I went kind of ambitious, I guess, with it, and had him going +5 to a 69, but I feel like he's definitely going to break out of that common rarity with this update. Now on to the closing pitchers. We have Kirby Yates on the San Diego Padres. I have him getting a +1 from an 81 to an 82 overall. He hasn't allowed a home run this season, and his home runs per 9 is kind of low in game. It's at 54 overall, so I could definitely see that getting a boost. His hits per 9 is a little bit better than last year, so that could go up a little bit. He only has 1 earned run allowed in 10 innings pitched, and then his strikeouts per 9 is 15.3 right now. He had 12.9 strikeouts per 9 last season, and he's sitting at a 15.3 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched at this point in time. So I could definitely see Kirby Yates getting an upgrade. I got a lot of comments and feedback about him that people thought he should get upgraded, so we're giving him a +1 this week up to an 82 overall. Next up, we have Jose Alvarado on the Tampa Bay Rays. Another level changer. I have him getting a +2 this week from a 78 to an 80 overall. Going gold. And MLB The Show 19. He has not allowed an earned run this season in 7 1/3 innings pitched. His hits per 9 is 4 this season compared to 5.9 entirety of last year. His strikeouts per 9 is sitting at 16 right now. Last year he had 11.3 strikeouts per 9 innings, and he's sitting at 16 currently this season. So I could definitely see his attributes going up in game enough to get him that +2 up to a gold. And it will be The Show 19. Now we are on to the position players, starting out with catchers and starting with Gary Sanchez. He's a guy that I got a lot of comments about, a lot of people telling me, hey, he's going to go gold. You need to have him in your predictions. And I went a little bit conservative with my prediction for him. I have him getting a +1 this week from a 78 to a 79, not quite breaking into that gold tier on MLB 19. So last year, Gary Sanchez hit 186 versus righties and lefties, exactly the same versus both. And he's doing the same thing this year, except he's hitting 268 versus righties and 268 versus lefties. His contact's at 59 and 56 in game, so I definitely could see his contact getting a boost. I just don't know if his stats overall on the season are good enough to get him into gold, but I definitely do think he deserves at least a little bit of an upgrade. And one thing that I want to look at in future weeks that I didn't really look at all during these predictions are fielding ratings, because I didn't have enough time. I'm in school, like I said. Once I get into summer, I definitely want to start going more in depth with these, but as of right now, I've really only looked at hitting, and that's kind of what I'm basing my predictions on this week, so I didn't really look at his fielding at all. If he has an upgrade of fielding, that could definitely bump his overall up and get him into gold pretty easily. The last catcher I have is Yasmani Grandal on the Milwaukee Brewers. I have him getting a +2 this week from an 80 to an 82 overall. He's batting .391 this season. His average against righties is .643. He's batting .643 against righties, so I definitely think his contact versus righties could go up some. It's at 57 in game. Also versus lefties, I feel like that could go up a little bit. And then his vision only at 47 in game. I feel like that could definitely go up as well. He's batting .391, and I could pretty easily see Yasmani Grandal getting an upgrade this week on Friday and getting up in overall a little bit. Now we're moving on to the first baseman, and we're starting off with the guy who I probably got the most feedback, most comments, most reactions, most replies about. This is probably the guy that I saw most when I asked you guys who should be in this roster predictions video. So we have Cody Bellinger on the Dodgers, and hear me out before you comment anything, okay? So I'm giving him a +2 this week from an 82 to an 84 overall. This season, he's batting .424, 300 average against lefties, .478 against righties, compared to 70 contact versus righties in the game and 59 contact versus lefties in the game. So I could definitely see him getting a boost in contact versus righties. Contact versus lefties, yes, a little bit, but I'm not sure how much they would boost that by. I could definitely see his vision going up, man. He's batting .424. I could see his vision going up. I know it's not only on batting average, and I just want that to be clear. I know that's not the only thing they base it on, just for other players, him, and stuff like that. But 48 vision, I could definitely see that going up. He has quite a few RBIs this season. I could see that clutch stat going from 65 to a little bit higher, and I feel like he deserves an upgrade. 100%, I think he deserves an upgrade. A lot of people are telling me he's going to go diamond. He's going to be the first diamond of MLB The Show 19 that started as a gold, or just live series player that didn't start the year as diamond, going diamond. And I think that is definitely possible. So I said Blake Snell was going diamond, and I'm saying Cody Bellinger's not going diamond. With that being said, and I mentioned it during Blake Snell, I'm going to say it again now. I wouldn't be surprised if Blake Snell did not go diamond. I wouldn't be surprised if Cody Bellinger did go diamond. I'm just giving you guys my predictions, but I want it to be clear that I definitely think he could be going diamond. My prediction is that he won't. I just wanted to be clear, though, that I definitely do think he could pretty easily go diamond, and I would not be surprised by it at all. The second and final first baseman we have is Pete Alonso on the Mets, and I feel like this isn't a surprise to anybody, man. He's been tearing it up this season, batting .352, 4 home runs, 5 doubles. He definitely deserves an upgrade. I gave him a +2 this week, going from a 69 to a 71 overall, man. I'm excited to see how he does the rest of the season, man. I think he definitely deserves an upgrade. I think they'll probably give it to him, and I'm just excited to see how he does and if he can keep it up. Next up, we have the second baseman, and the second baseman, the only one that I actually have this week, is Colton Wong on the Cardinals. I've been getting a +1 this week from a 75 to a 76 overall. He has 4 home runs this year. 3 of them are versus righties, and he had 9 home runs the entire season last year, so I could definitely see his power go up a little bit in the game. His average right now is better by 49 points than it was last year, and then 13 points than it was in 2017, so I could see his contact going up a little bit as well. Just overall, he's a lot better hitter than he has been in past years, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a nice little +1 upgrade up to a 76. An honorable mention that I got a lot of comments about, but I didn't really get a chance to look into, was Gleyber Torres on the Yankees. I saw a lot of people saying that he's going to get upgraded, so keep that in mind. Maybe do some research for yourself. I just didn't get to do any on him this week. Next up, we have third baseman, and our only one for this position this week is Yoan Moncada. Again, same thing with Gleyber Torres. Matt Chapman was another name that I saw quite a bit, but I didn't get to look into him too much, so maybe do some research on Matt Chapman, look into him, and then there's obviously other third basemen that could be deserving that I did not look into. But this week, our third baseman prediction is Yoan Moncada on the Chicago White Sox. I have him getting a +3 this week from a 71 to a 74 overall. This season, he's batting .328, 350 average versus lefties, and then .278 versus righties. His contact versus lefties in the game is 47, and his contact versus righties is 57. So he's batting a lot better versus lefties, but his contact versus lefties is lower in game, so I can definitely see them readjusting that a little bit, increasing maybe his contact versus both sides, but especially versus lefties. His vision is only 29. He's batting .328. I could see his vision going up a decent amount from 29 to maybe 40, something like that. 13 RBIs on this season. He's actually on pace at this rate to double his RBI total from last year, so I feel like that could boost his clutch rate a little bit. You never know. And overall, he's just having a really good season at the plate, and I can definitely see him getting an upgrade. That's why I'm giving him a +3 this week, up to a 74 overall. Next up, we have the shortstop position. The only shortstop that I have this week is Tim Anderson. Again, I'm just trying to make it clear to you guys, this does not mean I think he's the only shortstop, and for other positions, that doesn't mean I think they're the only ones deserving of an upgrade this week. They're just the ones that I decided to focus on. We have Tim Anderson on the White Sox. I'm giving him a +1 this week from a 72 to a 73 overall. He's batting .406 versus righties and .471 versus lefties. In game, he has 55 contact versus righties. His contact versus lefties is already insane, but he's batting .406 versus righties. I can definitely see that contact versus righties going up a little bit. I'm only giving him a +1 just because I feel like there's not a lot of room to work with, especially because I didn't look at fielding. I don't think he's hitting for too much power this season, but you never know, and I'm giving him a +1 this week, especially because of that average versus righties, up to a 73 overall. Now on to the outfielders. A left field. This is one of 2 left fielders. We have Domingo Santana on the Mariners, another level changer for the week. I'm getting a +1 from a 74 to a 75 overall, going silver. This season, he's batting .333 compared to .265 last year. He has 4 home runs this season and only had 5 homers in 4 times as many games played last year. I think it's even a little bit more than 4 times. So I think his power could definitely see a little bit of a boost. I think his contact could see a little bit of a boost, and already has more RBIs than the entire season last year. And like I said, I'm pretty sure 4 times as many games, I think. And so I definitely think he could get a boost to his hitting stats. I don't think they could go up a ton, but I think just kind of all over the board, clutch, contact, power, vision, just a little bit. I definitely think that could pretty easily get him a +1 and bump him up to a silver this week. Our second and final left fielder that we have is Alex Gordon on the Royals, and I feel like he's just kind of been under the radar, man. He hasn't been amazing at the plate in the past few seasons, so I've been getting a +2 this week from a 68 to a 70 overall. This season, he's batting .360. His contact in game is 50 versus righties and 40 versus lefties. So I could definitely see his contact going up with that 360 average. 3 homers, 13 RBIs, maybe a little bit of a boost to power, maybe a little bit to clutch. And I definitely think he could get some upgrades, especially with that contact, that batting average that could get him that +2 up to a 70 overall. Next up, we have Austin Meadows on the Tampa Bay Rays. I have him getting a +3 from a 66 to a 69 overall. He's batting .357 this season with 58 contact versus righties in game and 56 contact versus lefties as his attribute in the game. So I could definitely see a boost to that contact with that .357 average. He already has 6 homers this season. I could see a boost to his power as well. And 5 of his home runs are versus righties, and 1 of them, I believe, is versus a lefty. So I could definitely see his power versus righties overtaking that power versus lefties in the game. I think he's just overall having a pretty solid season at the dish so far, and I could see him getting a +3 up to a 69 overall this week. That's going to do it for my predictions for Friday, April 19th. The roster update coming to MLB The Show 19. And again, one last time, I just want to say these are not every single players that I think are deserving of upgrades. They're just the ones I got to, could do some research on, gather some stats and stuff like that. So I just want to make it clear, guys, there's other people that are deserving of upgrades. These probably, and I can almost guarantee you, will not be 100% accurate. You know, Cody Bellinger, he could go diamond. Blake Snell, he cannot go diamond. Like, these are not going to be 100% perfect. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts, who I missed, who I got wrong, stuff like that down in the comment section. Again, one last time, man, these are not going to be 100% perfect. I'm by no means an expert. This is my first roster prediction video since MLB The Show 17, so I'm kind of rusty at this. Bear with me. They'll hopefully get better as the year goes on. Be sure to leave a like if you want me to keep doing these. If you enjoy them, subscribe if y'all are new on the road to 21,000 subscribers. Comment down below who I missed, who I got right, who I got wrong, why I got them wrong, why I got them right, why you think the people that I missed deserve it, stuff like that. Just let me know your thoughts, who's getting upgraded or even downgraded, even though we didn't really cover that in this video, down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, follow Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and the second channel. I'll see you next time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out.